Sometimes life goes so fast you just need to step back and take a time out. If you're really lucky, you can spend that time picking the brain of Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella. We could only find one guy brave enough to do it. Here's Bob McElligott and Timeout with Torts.
Torts, I want to start this week with the fact that we were in St. Louis last Friday, and I just noticed, I've gone there for 10 years, but it just seemed different to me this time around. From everybody that I encountered, no matter what their role was that was working in that building, and it's kind of like we're winners. You know, they won the Stanley Cup. They came from being in last place in January. They win the Stanley Cup, and everybody is different now. So my question to you is, that's a team that's made the playoffs for years and hadn't gotten there until this past year. Does the culture develop the winning, or does the winning develop the culture? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's both. But to me, the first thing that goes on is standards. I hate using the word culture. It's one of the most overused word, I think, in all sports. But it's teaching your players to be pros, teaching them to be good teammates, teaching them to extend themselves through tough times. There are so many different things that come into the heading of culture. But I think you need that as a foundation. I think you can get to another level of I think that's when expectations come into play after you've won. I think you can ask for more in certain situations and develop. I'm not sure if the word's culture, but just develop that wanting even more. But you can't. I just don't think you can win or get yourself competing in this league unless you're doing the foundation work, the practicing, the little things of what it is to be a pro as an individual and what it is to play under a team concept and go through some tough times and trying to develop that.
And the funny thing about it is, like, when you're talking about team and what your team mindset is and all of that, like, to me, what this organization did last year, and it went further than it ever did, and I know it didn't win the whole thing, but there's been a building process here. And I think with the team, you've been able to keep that going. Mm-hmm. I think from the fan side, I think it's kind of the strut isn't there because of the pieces that were lost over the summer, and that there's a concern that the building isn't going to continue, and that's a fear. How do you get rid of that fear? Do you know?
Yeah, you and they have a right to think that. I mean, we lost, no matter if you like them, hate them, whatever. We lost some major pieces to our team last year. Let's not hide from that. So we are in a. You get, and again, you made a good point. We only got to the second round. You have to win that second round plus 2 more rounds to win. So we have a ways to go. But in at least in the time I've been here, the 4 years, we were building. We got to that point. Yarmo made some great deals at the end, and I thought we made great steps. It's things changed really quickly, and we're kind of back into, I wouldn't say rebuilding, but we kind of moved sideways here a little bit to start gathering ourselves again after it was a tough summer as far as bodies lost, but we also added Nyquist and got some kids that are coming in here. And you got to coach in that type of vein in my mind. And it's not rebuilding, it's just refinding ourselves here and add a little bit more you'd have to do right now in teaching people than we would have had to if we still had our team from the end of last year. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
It does. And yes, there's a natural fear that you're not going to be able to be as good. Not from your team. I just think from that.
Yeah. And as far as the fans, everybody gets mad. Well, the fans are negative. What are we going to be? They have a right to question that. I mean, we lost major pieces and some really good people, good players at pretty important positions. They have a right to question that, and I'm not an idiot to not think about, we got some work to do here because now we even gotten younger. I think we're younger now than we were 4 years ago.
Every year you're the youngest team in the league somehow.
Yeah, and it is what it is. So, but I don't think – to me it's an opportunity for us and to rally around. We got some rallying points here that we can use to our benefit and just get about our business.
Funny because I think one of the main talking points in the hockey world is John Tortorella doesn't work well with young players. He needs to have the veteran players. It's been a stigma of yours. You know that.
All through my career.
Yes, but yet you've had the youngest team in the league here 4 years in a row.
And I am thrilled to be around these guys. And our Tampa team, and we won it in Tampa, very young team there. I sometimes you get put into a box. I think all coaches do sometimes. But I'm thrilled to be around this group of guys here. But it's a challenge, Bobby. I'm not going to say it isn't where you had that team last year and you kind of get a little bump on the road as far as some people leaving at main positions, and now we are here. It's not a negative thought. It's an honest thought. Mm-hmm. So I readjust myself this summer in my thinking, and I've told you many times, I've got to be patient here. We're going to have bumps on the road here with 2 young goalies and some inexperience, 5 or 6 new players added to our team, and losing some good people. And I'm not going to hide from that. I'm pissed they left. Yeah, because I think some of them said they want to win. Yeah, we were getting there. We were on the right track. It's their call. It's their call to leave. And we just go about our business here.
We're with Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella. I'm with him, not we. It's just me and you. I do want to ask you, though, with some of those pieces leaving, let's take a look at Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think he's made it a point here early on to kind of thrive in the opportunity that he's given. Cam Atkinson on the other side, and this is completely unfair. I can look at Cam's stats and I can say he's 1 goal in 10 games. Mm-hmm. Then I can look and say he's got 5 points in 10 games. Mm-hmm. But he's a goal scorer. He's been a goal scorer. Yeah. You need him to be a goal scorer right now. Yes. So it's all how they adapt to, one looks like he's adapting one way and the other's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, Cam's struggling. Jonesy's struggling. Z's struggling. Nyquist has had some good games but has not scored regularly. We have a lot of our top guys struggling. Luke has probably been, he's been our most consistent offensive guy. And that's good news. He's our top center. I hope he continues because I do believe the other guys are going to come along here. But there's no question, we can talk about, I think, what are we, 0-3-1 here, our last 4? We can talk about the young kids and this and that. We're 0-3-1 because our top players have not been good enough. And for us to get out of this is we've got to keep developing our young guys, but we've got to get our top guys going or we don't have no chance. And they very much realize it. They're very honest people in that locker room, and I believe in them. I do think it's going to happen, and just hopefully we just stay above. I think it's really important this time here when people can be chucking darts at us and saying, I told you so, all those guys left and this is what you are. It's easy to cave into it, start being a bad teammate, start whining about it instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to get better each day. I'm going to get better each day, keep my concentration, stay within a team concept, and try to find our way through this.
Is it maddening to you on the bench when you feel like you've got a really good scoring chance and whatever player it is that has the puck misses the net with the shot altogether?
Yeah. Well, one of them, Z is the one that drives me crazy because Z is just a tremendous talent, and he has had some chances coming down the slot, not shoot it wide, but shoot it. It bothers me even more over the net. He shoots so many pucks over the net, but I'm just thinking that on the top of my head. But yeah, because I think the best play is a shot on goal. If you don't score, you would need to at least get the puck on goal because we could get a rebound. We've talked about manufacturing goals this year, and to manufacture goals, you got to get it into the blue. To shoot it wide is a breakout for the other team. So sure, it's maddening.
And Josh Anderson is the guy that comes to my mind too.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Don't even start there. And there's a guy who I think is going to be a star in this league. I really do. There's a struggle for him right now. I think he's forgotten who he is. Sometimes when you have success like he had last year, you change your game because you think you're something that you're not. And that's part of my job is make sure I let him know who he is. And I do. I think he'll get back on track. He's such an important guy for us this year.
We talked about this, you and I, for 2 years in a row with Josh. Speed and physicality, when he plays with it, that is when he plays his best.
Yes.
I know he doesn't like to be compared to Tom Wilson, but let's be honest. If you are afraid when Josh Anderson's on the ice, like teams get afraid when Tom Wilson's on the ice, like the Calgary Flames were afraid when Cole Sherwood was on the ice the other night, you already have made an impact, and then things get easier for you. Am I right?
Well, look what he did against Tampa, Josh. He takes out Hedman. I think Hedman gets hurt in one of his hits, but he was a force that way, playing in straight lines. When Josh starts going east-west and starts toe drags and trying to handle the puck too much instead of pushing it ahead and go chase it, he turns into a player that's struggling, and that's where he's at right now.
Right. Talking with head coach John Tortorella, Cole Sherwood, I brought him up. He's only played the one game. It's so funny, and we've had numerous conversations how this league has changed. Cole Sherwood did nothing more when he returned to the league than skate fast, finish checks, and it's a difference. It is a noticeable difference maker when you have players that do that today, isn't it?
And it's funny how the puck finds him. When you're doing that, the puck finds him. He ends up, I think, with 3 or 4 shots on goal. Almost had another one where he fell down when he was cutting into the slot. The puck followed him around because he was just playing a simple game, a game within him, a game that he's been playing down there in Cleveland, and he is a tremendous skater. So he used his assets, and he's going to be right back in, and I really like the minutes he put in.
And I don't want to get into the whole Lucic thing and what happened to him and all that stuff, but I was amazed how many people were outraged about the whole thing because that's what the game was not that long ago. If there was a guy out there running around, and I don't say running around like in a bad way toward Cole, he was doing his job. Yeah. But if there was a guy doing that, and you had a guy on the other side whose job it was to take care of that, he just did it and it was over, right?
Yeah. Well, I tell my guys, anybody bothers our goalie in the blue, we'll kill the penalty off. You do what you have to do to get that guy away from our goalie. We'll kill that penalty off. So, but the game has changed so much. Now, I'm not crazy about Lucic, sucker punching a guy with a glove on. That's really dangerous. But it's still, that used to be part of the game. And I want it in our blue. If someone does that to our goalie, we better not just have one. We better have all 5 in there. And we'll kill whatever has to be killed. We'll kill that penalty off.
Right. And the other thing about it was, even after it happened, there used to be 4 guys on you after you took that swing. Yeah. And now it's – well, another thing is, and I'm not knocking these guys, it's their job, but the officials get in on this stuff pretty quick now.
Yes, they do. Right? Yeah. The game's changed that way, Bobby. It's changed completely.
So speed and skill and go from there. You were talking about Seth Jones and Zach Werenski struggling right now. With Seth especially, you've been his biggest champion as far as the Norris Trophy. Mm-hmm. You've been promoting him for at least 2 years about that. I feel that this year was the first year that preseason he was really in the conversation. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to be in the conversation preseason to have any chance when it's all said and done. But with that being said, is it any extra pressure he puts on himself?
I don't think Jonesy's built that way. I don't think he feels that. I think he's a really good pro. I don't think he worries or even pays attention to too much stuff on the outside. I just think it's been a little bit of a struggle with him with the puck. I think his whole game is dictated as far as him being confident with the puck and using his legs. There's no question that's going to come back. He's going to be a force before this is all said and done. We're still very early. He'll find his way, but I don't think that stuff bothers me. I just think it's a little bit of a rut for him right now.
Is he trying to do too much because feeling that he has to be more this year?
I haven't asked him about that. It could be that, and that's a good thing about a player. He cares. He wants to lead this team. He's never going to lead the team by talking. He's going to lead by example on the ice, and I think has. As I've always said, he's been our engine as far as how we go. I think when a couple of games he struggled with the puck, I think it just it gangs up on you a little bit. But the key for him is to simplify. I want to get him up the ice as much as we can. I think that's going to help him. And hopefully some good things happen for him.
Sonny Milano. We talked about him last week, and you love him. You think he's learning. He goes out and he takes some penalties that I know drove you crazy this week. But yet, there he is. And even the other night, you sat him, but when you brought him back, he wound up finding his way to the top line at one point. Where is Sonny going into tonight's game against the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yeah, he's going to play. He's going to play in a top 9 position. He's one of our most talented players. I've warned him right on through his penalties. He takes another offensive zone penalty the other night, and sooner or later you have to have some retribution. And like I told him in between periods, you just piss me off, and I can't tell you what I said to him as far as at that point in time. But it's frustrating to me.
You can't say it because you won't say it on mic or because you don't remember.
No,
it could be
a
little
bit of both. A little bit of both because I was upset and. Because I think he can help this team. That was the bottom line I wanted him to understand. you can help this team here. We're having problems scoring goals. At that point in time, we're having problems making plays with our offensive people. But I just can't keep on throwing you back out there when you keep on lose your concentration with your stick and take these stupid penalties. But I put him back on the top line in the third period, hope something would happen. It didn't, but he's going to be put back on the ice tonight, and hopefully he'll help us score some goals.
What does Marcus Nudevar have to do to get back into your good graces?
Well, he's going to play. He's going to play. The biggest thing for Nudie to do, and we've already had this conversation, is I want him to try to make a difference in the game. I don't want him relying on – the flipper's a big play in today's game, the flipper out of the end zone, we chase it down. I think he's relying on that too much because his legs aren't moving. I think he's back to looking for his partner. I just don't think he wants the puck. I want him to get the puck and get going. I want him not to test the water. I want him to make a difference in the game with his legs and his skills. We'll live with sometimes he gets out-battled and maybe a bigger guy beats him one-on-one. We're going to live with some of that. We need him to get going the other way, and I just don't think he's done that. But he's going to get back in, and he will. He has to be a big part of our team if we're going to be successful. You
gave Vladislav Gavrikov a pretty big assignment a couple of games ago when you put him with Seth Jones and you split up Werenski and Jones. After the game was over, the next day you said you didn't like it. Mm-hmm. But what did you learn? When you take a guy and you put him in that situation and you kind of expand the opportunities and responsibility, what can you learn about a player?
Yeah, well, it wasn't so much that how he played against other top players. I just thought he fought the puck. He really struggled with the puck, his puck movement. It was really, how you say, it was one of those nights. It was one of those nights for him. He falls down in the third period. I felt terrible
Twice.
for him. Yeah. Jonesy dumps the puck off up behind the overskates the puck, ends up being a scoring chance. It was just one of those nights for him. So we wanted to back him out of that position. We like the pair with him and Savvy. That's who we'll probably play with right now. I'm going to go back with, as I have with Jonesy and Z. Murr's out, so I can't really do too many other things here, so they're going to play together. I think it's both players, Z and Jonesy, that have struggled. Maybe they can help one another out. I split them up to try to help them. I just don't have the personnel where I think I can do that right now.
You know what Scott Harrington is. You've known he's had to wait to get in because you know what he is. What's he done with the chances you've given him the last couple of games?
He's played very well. It's a hard decision what we're going to do there. I think Kukan has played very well. I think we have the opportunity here now where it's not always okay. Kook's a Harry. Savvy's got to play better. He's a veteran guy, but a lot of speed in today's game. I think he's got to play quicker. I'm going to let Jonesy and Z work themselves out of their problems. I'm not taking them out. There's a lot of different things that we can do here, and we're not sure what we're going to do. But I think Harry and Kook's aren't always the one in the conversation of who comes out.
All right, I'm just going to ask you flat out, especially with the way the schedule is. You got Vegas, and then you're on the road, 3 games. Arizona, Colorado, Montreal. John Tortorella, does your team need a road trip right now? I mean an extended trip. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
think time to bond, time to just be together.
We haven't had one. Usually get them done earlier than we have here. I think it's a good time. I think we have shown. I think we're more ready and more concentrated on the road. I think all teams can say that. I don't get it. Never have. But Bobby, I'll tell you right now, I'm not even thinking about the road trip. I'm thinking about one game, and that's Vegas, obviously. And against Calgary, I thought we had a horrible start. We had just our best start of the year in St. Louis the night before. Have a horrible start. I think we play hard the rest of the game. We hold them to 11 scoring chances, but we only have 10. And that's due to top guys struggling. And we have got to get some more flow into our offense without sacrificing our defense.
10 scoring chances, 43 shots on goal. Yeah. And not many, and I think this has been a theme too, there's not been many second and third opportunities for your team all year.
No. And we have to manufacture some there. We have to get there and manufacture some scoring chances and goals in close by being in that area.
As long as you've been in hockey, did you ever think that you would see a team in Las Vegas and thrive the way that team is thriving?
It's a fantastic place to play. Yeah, I think it's great for the league to have a city like that to go to and play. I think George McPhee, the whole group there, have done just a terrific job. For an away team, it's a blast to play there. It's loud.
And it was really fun to go there and shut them up last year,
yes,
too, right?
Yeah. And it is, you want to win, but I think it's really good for a team to play in that type of atmosphere. And remember the old Chicago Stadium. It's not like that now, but back in the old Chicago Stadium when they were playing so well, that's a great barn to play in. Vegas is a really good spot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to have a guy like a Marc-Andre Fleury to be kind of the face of that thing. You've seen him for years. Yeah. I mean, you're probably sick and tired of seeing Marc-Andre Fleury through your time with the Rangers and the Blue Jackets.
He's got some personality, though. That's what I like about him. And, he's had a hell of a career. And, they're a good team. They're good right on through the back end. I think they're very well coached. It'll be a handful for us.
All right, I'm going to wind this up by taking it right back to where it was when we started. We were talking about championships. And in addition to St. Louis winning their first, we just saw the Washington Nationals win their first ever just a couple of days ago. In the NBA, the Toronto Raptors won their first ever. The NFL's the only one screwing it up with the Patriots, and even they lost on Sunday, so who knows. But is that good for sports to have new champions?
I think it is, yeah. I don't really think about that much, but yeah, I think it is.
But you're a fan too, so do you like to see different teams come around?
I like the World Series this year. I mean, no team won a home game. They all won on the road.
Maybe those road trips are important, right?
But Washington wins the first two games, and everybody's saying Washington's going to win it. Whoa! That's the Houston Astros. Houston Astros win 3, right? And well, now it's done. And then Washington comes back. I thought it was just a great series. You know what's crazy to me? And I know the business part of it. A day after World Series, I see, and I guess you have to because of the period that you didn't declare. Strasburg is going to be wide open for a huge payday. Go to another team. Garrett Cole. And maybe I'm a little naive, but you're just with these guys, hey? Mm-hmm. And you go to the end, and next thing you know, you're going to leave. I don't know. I have a tough time wrapping my head around that sometimes. I know you need to make your money. But it kind of blows me away to watch these guys.
Can't you wait 5, 6, 7 days to make your money?
Enjoy it. You haven't even had the parade, I don't think, yet. And we're talking about free agency and stuff like that. So I don't know how I got on that subject.
But that's today's game, unfortunately. And
it is.
And look, let's be honest. We were talking about this earlier. It has now bled into this league. This league was immune from that for a long, long time. Yeah. Guys taking hometown discounts, all that kind of stuff. And it's changing.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. And for a coach that's managing the group and being really like when Brad and all those when they left, I'm saying, man, we got something good going here. And we were right there with Boston. They go to the final. We're right there with Boston. And I know I'm being naive, and I know it's not going to happen this way. But I say, man, do you ever give some thought about we got a good group here. Let's stay. And I may not make as much, but I'm going to make a ton of money. But it just doesn't happen.
No, it's just
it's not going to happen.
Look, you and I are in the same boat. I mean, we're getting older every day, and they're getting younger, and they're making way more money than we are, and it's always going to be that way.
Yes.
Torts, thank you again so much. I really appreciate it, and talk to you again next week.
Okay, Bobby.
That is Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella in this week's edition of Timeout with Torts. Remember, the Blue Jackets are on the ice tonight at 7 o'clock at Nationwide Arena. They will take on the Vegas Golden Knights. One of 2 meetings this year, the only one that takes place here at Nationwide Arena. The puck will drop at 7 o'clock this evening. You can hear pregame coverage starting at 6:30 tonight on the flagship station of the Blue Jackets radio network, 97.1 The Fan, and all across the radio network throughout Ohio and in parts of West Virginia. After this game, the Blue Jackets are going to be going on the road for the next 3. I want to remind you the Blue Jackets will host their annual Hockey Fights Cancer Night presented by Ohio Health. That is coming up on Friday night, November the 15th. Make sure you come out and join us for a very special in-arena light show that will recognize and honor pediatric cancer heroes, survivors, and those who are currently battling the disease. To get more information, all you have to do is go to bluejackets.com/HFC for Hockey Fights Cancer to learn much more. So that wraps up today's edition of Timeout with Torts. Thanks once again to Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella, who is very giving of his time to bring this to you. And oh, by the way, he cares. He does care. He is very in tune with what's going on and your reaction to the show, which, by the way, has been very positive in these first couple of weeks. So I appreciate that very much. Hey, remember, if there's something that you would like me to ask Torts, I might get it in for you. I might not. but the only way you can find out is by sending your question or your concern to me via Twitter at Bobby Mack Sports. Blue Jackets and the Vegas Golden Knights tonight, 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 on the Blue Jackets radio network. Until tonight, I'm Bob McElligott saying so long.